Solar panels and trains are two things I have loved since I was a child. Really fascinated by them. Trains are always interesting for so many reasons logistically, transportation, getting places, just the magic and the aura of it. And solar panels, I mean, just harvesting the free energy of the sun and being able to utilize that, not just harvest it, but turn it into something that, we could use, we could live our life with. So super exciting. So when I saw this article, I saw it in a couple places, and this was I first saw this on the Clean Technica website. Steve Hanley here wrote this. Sunways is the company that's putting this together. Swiss experiment will place solar panels between train tracks. So I thought this was super cool. I have a lot of questions. I think it leads to a lot of questions, but I think it's a great opportunity to talk about how we utilize our existing infrastructure with as minimal of disruption as we can to the environment to start to harvest some of the power that we know is kind of just beaming down on us every day. And this company out of Switzerland has a pilot program in Switzerland is trying to do just that. And so this is good. There's a little video with this article too, but let's just skim through it for a second. So enough sunlight falls on the earth every day to meet the energy needs of every human being for a year. Now, I have not fact checked that, but I've heard other people say that. I might do a video on that. That seems pretty accurate. I've heard. I was actually reading another article. It was essentially was something that Elon Musk has talked about too, in terms of we can capture. He claims we could capture enough power to capture enough sunlight for 100 times the amount of people that we have on this planet. And so I was kind of like when that claim came out, I was like, I kind of want to run the numbers on that. That I'm not sure about, but there's a lot of sunlight out there, and I think we can. I mean, I'm not saying yes or no. There's definitely a lot of power, and from our standpoint, again, we're on 36 panels. We're on 36 panels at our house, and we get by. We get by just fine. We create enough power. It'd be great to have a little bit more, but it's the battery storage. Again, not to pound the battery storage drum, but here we are again. But in this particular case, there's this opportunity to harvest unlimited electrical energy for every purpose, as they say, making green steel and cement, et cetera, et cetera. So let's skip through this for a second. People have some great ideas for where solar panels can be mounted, where they won't ruin the view. There are tens of thousands of acres of roofs on large commercial buildings. I agree with that, and factories available. That's a great point. Parking lots, commercial buildings, those flat roofs are huge. So solar canopies over parking lots. Sorry, I'm right. We're on the same page with that. And so Swiss are known for being clever engineers. Agree with that. And we've good proof of that from some Swiss engineering in Boston. The Zakum Bridge, I believe, was a Swiss-built bridge, one of the only components of the Big Dig, if I can recall, if I remember, could pull this up too, that came in on time and under budget, something along those lines. So go Switzerland. On its website, Sunways. So this is Sunways. I'll pull up their website afterward, but it says, thanks to its patented technology. Oh, because here I skipped a part. I kind of skipped the important part here. The Swiss are known for being clever engineers. One of them, Baptiste Denichert, apologies on the name there, I definitely didn't pronounce it right, is the co-founder of Sunways, a startup that proposes to put the space between railroad tracks to good use by installing solar panels between the rails. It seems like a practical solution. The panels will be removable, so railroads can do repairs. Repairs to the tracks as needed. There are over 1 million kilometers of railway lines in the world, he said, and we believe that 50% of the world's railways could be equipped with our system. That's, I don't know what the gauges of rail systems, the conditions of rail systems, the global economics, the socioeconomics, the politics, but in theory, let's roll with that. So on its website, Sunway says, thanks to its patented technology, our system integrates renewable energy production into railway infrastructures. Due to its flexibility and adaptability, our devices make it possible to easily install and remove all or part of a solar power plant placed between the rails of a railway track. All right, it seems to make sense. So integrating photovoltaics, this is a quote, integrating photovoltaics into the railway sector is not easy. as the sector is highly regulated. Yep, that makes sense. However, a pragmatic technical development strategy based on taking into account the constraints related to railway maintenance and operation from the outset has allowed us to arrive at a technology that meets these expectations. I guess that just depends on where you're putting it into, and we're at the very you know base level, I think, of this technology. We're at the infancy, of, if you will, of this technology, and so or of this application of this technology. So um, to make the process work, Sunways has created a specialized train in conjunction. Oh, so this is what I want to show you. I had a picture of this. Where was the picture of this? This is pretty neat. Yeah, because this was. Let me switch to this startup selfie. Here's one other article. I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to pull one other article up right now. And this has some good. This has some good. Let's see here. Can I present? Share my screen. This has a good. All right. So here you see the picture of it. So that's good. There's the picture of. This was one of their earlier prototypes. So basically, what it is they've gotten a grant to install a new prototype of line. And oh, this is the machine that installs it. This was cool. So apparently, one of the critical design features of this system is its removable nature. Panels can be temporarily lifted for track maintenance and then reinstalled once the work is done, which is super cool. This flexibility ensures that the solar panels won't interfere with regular railway upkeep. To facilitate large-scale installation, which should make a lot of sense, Swiss railway maintenance company Scheucher SA, pardon the pronunciation, I know it's terrible, has developed a machine capable of laying up to 1,000 square meters of Sunway panels per day. That seems like a lot. I don't know how many that is, but that seems like a lot. 1,000 square meters. How many square meters is an electrical panel? I mean, is a solar panel? So let's see. We could probably ask that to ChatGPT while we're talking about that. But that's a pretty cool. Let's see. How many square meters is a solar panel? I'm just curious to see how many this thing can lay as a solar panel. So ChatGPT is saying a solar panel, typical residential solar panel, 1.7. And for larger commercial industrial, 1.5 to 2. So let's say it's 2 square meters. This can lay 1,000 square meters. That's easy math. It's 500 panels a day. It seems pretty good. Seems pretty speedy. Um, Panels have been rigorously tested for stability under extreme conditions, including high-speed trains passing overhead up to 93 miles an hour, 150 kilometers an hour, and strong winds. So, after nearly a year of deliberation, Switzerland's Federal Office of Transportation, the FOT, for those in the know, have approved a pilot project for 2025. That's next year. This test will take place on a 100-meter, 330-foot stretch of the Trans N Line 221 near Buttes Railway Station in the Swiss canton of Neuchâtel. The pilot will involve the installation of 48 solar panels, offering a combined capacity of 18 kilowatt peak. These panels must be 18 kilowatts an hour. These panels will be connected to the local grid via the electricity distributor Vitius, in partnership with railway infrastructure specialist DG Rail. All right, so let's unpack that just for a quick second. 48 solar panels, 18 kilowatts peak. That's not a ton of power. That's probably like a house and a half. If we're talking about a US house, 25 kilowatts a day, we're probably talking about maybe like a day and a house and a half worth of powering a house and a half. But and this is an expensive. It's an expensive. The cost on it. I could switch back. The cost on it was about $500,000. It might have even been more than that. Let me look. Let me see here. The updated cost of the pilot project. Here it is. I could switch over. Let me put myself up on here. The updated cost of the pilot project. Drum roll, please. I don't know how we present. Is 585,000 Swiss francs, entirely financed by partners. How much is 585,000 Swiss francs? How many dollars? What did I say it was? 500. Apparently, I can't type. 585 Swiss francs. That's what those are. I think that's what that is. How many dollars is that? So we're looking at, as of November 12th, 2024, it's $668,000. So we're looking at $668,000 for a house and a half's worth of power. That seems excessive, but to prove the point, to prove the technology, and to prove that it works, I kind of feel like there's got to be a pilot project that takes the brunt of that cost startup. Pretty much, I think definitely true with every startup, with every tech startup, and with every pushing the boundaries of every frontier and integrating into an existing utility. That's not an easy thing to do. I want to switch back to here. So this is really, let's share this one. Let's switch back here because this should have this video. Okay. So now let's play this video. This is from Sunways. Comment on this.
Sunways is a global innovation with several patents. It allows the mechanized installation of removable solar power plants between the rails of a railway track. Our partner Schuxer is a pioneer in railway machines for maintenance work. For Sunways, he has developed
Schuxer, now I know how to say it.
A special machine that can install solar panels at up to 300 meters per hour.
We now, we did the math on that. So it was like whatever, 500 panels a day. When it came down to it, it was 1,000 square meters. I wasn't looking at it right in front of me.
This patented device can install nearly 500 solar panels per day.
That's cool, though.
The Sunways removable solar power plant adapts to any track and remains stable when trains pass over it. All electrical connections are secured inside the solar panels.
Sounds cool.
All or part of a Sunways removable solar power plant can be quickly removed to enable routine maintenance work to be carried out.
Keeping train lines maintained in its own right is just got to be a huge task. It's kind of like one of those, as soon as you finish painting one side of the house and going all the way around, you got to start, maintaining the rest of the tracks. It's got to be just a constant. That's impressive. And so this definitely adds another layer to that, I could say.
Then the panels are quickly placed back between the rails and the removable solar power plant can be used again.
It's cool to watch.
Today, generating electricity with solar panels placed between the rails has become a reality.
All right. Not like a ton of information on that. Go back to not a ton of information in that video, but that was super cool to watch the actual mechanism, to watch that that train, that the maintenance, the installation, the deinstallation is kind of like an all-in-one train. It was really cool to watch that work. And so, I wish these guys the best of luck. This is I think a really innovative company. I think it's a great way, again, to have the conversation about the existing infrastructure we have. How do we make the most out of that? How do we optimize the existing infrastructure without having to, adversely affect the landscape in so many circumstances when we already have a lot of favorable conditions working with us? And maybe in the future, with these train lines and train companies, how do we integrate this new data set and this new, really optimize this new technology that's practical, it's functional, it really works? How do we integrate it into the future of planning, installation, maintenance, and just the total, the whole sum of parts to kind of how we're approaching our relationship to power? And when it comes to logistics and when it comes to transportation, and when it comes to moving goods, it just makes a lot of sense. I could see solar panels on top of a lot of these transportation railway cars, or some temporary systems set up to allow them to collect the sun while they're moving through. I think it makes sense. And certainly it makes sense to put it between the rails. It's an expensive startup on a short amount of track, but the fact that they got it approved, and again, against regulatory hurdles and municipalities and things like that, where and we found this in building our house, and this is something to talk about, and I'll start to talk about in a longer video. But when you're even choosing your land and looking at the zoning of a smaller town like we're in, and that hasn't necessarily caught up to the options, the opportunities, and the functions that are out there when it comes to sustainable power. And so, how do you reconcile those two things where technology and society is really moving in a certain direction with how we capitalize on the resources we have? And sometimes legislation and sometimes the ability to want to make sure that things are done properly just kind of reins that back down. And so just that conversation, seeing this happen, leads me to believe that those kinds of positive conversations are out there. So it's just exciting. It's super cool. It's innovative, and it's the stuff I like to see. So trains, solar panels, if they could play together, we can all play together. Catch you guys later. Hope everybody's got enough power for their day inside and out. And I got a bunch of interesting articles coming up. I'm going to look at that Elon Musk, and it was it's like Karev's theory of energy, and he was kind of going into that. But how much power we can actually produce on this planet is fascinating to me. So it's definitely something I'm going to be looking into. And again, hope everybody has a great day. Power inside and out. Catch you soon.